it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on really the effect of being in a relationship with a malignant narcissist or a sociopath and how to really recover your sense of direction, your passion, your energy, and your sense of self and security. And before we get started, I really want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently made a donation to the channel, particularly our viewers in the Netherlands, a beautiful part of the world. It's a pleasure and a delight to be able to reach out to you and provide valuable content moving forward. Thank you so much for your generosity and your donation. It really means the world to me to know that I can provide a resource of help and support and knowledge to help you really sort of clarify things and situations and relationships in your life. So thank you so much for your thoughtfulness and your gratitude. So I want to dive in a little bit more in depth really here on the experience that we have really kind of socializing with these sorts of individuals. And there's a term called social engineering, which is oftentimes used in different industries where there are people who are emotionally manipulative, or they do internet scams, or things like that. Very sort of deceptive behavior, which is called social engineering. And really, a lot of the emotional manipulation that takes place is from these malignant, narcissistic, or sociopathic individuals who are in direct violation of humanity. That's why they are called the interspecies predators, because they're acting from a pathological sense of self-importance, and they're antisocial, they're desocialized from the common good. Because of their neural networks in their brain, their reward system is hypersensitive and hyperactive. So they will be more prone to these high reward behaviors, which are all about them, and really sort of override the human good, even, the good of those individuals who are in their direct immediate environment. So oftentimes those people really take the brunt or get the worst of it. And they're really sort of on the front line of this battle. They're really sort of taking the bruises, they're taking the punches, they're taking the hits, psychologically, physically, emotionally, and oftentimes even financially, professionally, at the hands or at the mercy of these individuals who are master emotional manipulators. Because these individuals have a pathological sense of self-importance, and even neurologically, their limbic brain, their emotional rewards are all about sort of taking advantage of others. Because of their lack of empathy, they get a special sort of surge when they are harming or hurting others. Seeing others suffer is what gives them a sense of gratitude. They feel like they're doing their job. They feel like they're at their best when they are seeing others suffer. They really, which is part of my passion and why I've developed the channel, is because I have such a heart for those people who have been victims of such abuse. It's a horrific thing. And, it's really attacking those people who are vulnerable. Just as I have a huge sensitivity towards child abuse and things of that nature, that is really where my sentience is to help these vulnerable people, people who have been targeted, unnecessarily victimized and targeted to be taken advantage of by these types of individuals who don't have, the emotional maturity to know that they are being manipulated. So these people who are the social engineers who are taking advantage of others, they will often say, oh, these people are easily manipulated. I mean, that's a horrible thing, but this is how these people think. This is how they are parasitic and predatory in nature. Predatory meaning to see you down, destroyed, or unhappy, ruined financially, ruined socially. I mean, that is what they're calculating for. So you have to be very, very careful and realize that yes, these types of people exist, and they do not contain empathy, which is really enacted by the motor neurons in the brain. So the mirror neurons in the brain. Yes, we have motor neurons which give you activity and behavior, but the mirror neurons, which is basically part of being a person is you are able to pick up the feeling in a room. You're able to pick up different emotions. When you are out on a majestic walk, or if you've ever been to a really scenic area, you feel the experience of awe or the mystic, or, you see life in full bloom, like if you were to see, a field of wildflowers, or it's the feeling when you go to a great art museum and you're surrounded by Monets and you have this awe experience where basically, your inner voice shuts down and, you're very quiet and peaceful and you're absorbing this masterpiece and you're realizing that there's a real profound or divine gift in this art. And so you're taking it in and you're attuned to this. So this is, your mirror neurons, which are, you're beginning to connect with something wonderful and great, and you have the experience of, wow, that was awesome, or you see a magnificent sculpture, the sculpture of David in Italy. I have never been there, but if you've been there, I'm sure I've seen pictures. It's like, you're like, wow, this is a work of art, and your mouth is hanging open, and you realize all the work and refinement and vision and really sort of the best of humanity has come out in this artist. Or when you look at a huge tall skyscraper, if you go to New York, Chicago, some of the beautiful cities in London, or in Denmark, or you see the fjords, you have this experience of the awe or the magnificent or the divine. But there's the divine in nature, but then there's the divine in man, and you see the expression of divine in man when you look at these awesome feats of art or architecture, or cooking, or photography. You see these like awesome moments which have been captured by the best of the best. And really those are the mirror neurons, that give you that empathy, that give you that feeling, that limbic brain, which is then, part of inspiration. And these mirror neurons, which are so important to empathy, which are on us all the time, these really are not what's happening in a malignant narcissist or a psychopath. They are lacking in empathy. So they have a huge inactivity in these neural centers which create that. And they think, that mirror neurons are for the ducks or the birds or whatever, they feel, because really any malignant narcissist or psychopath, they know or feel that they are quote unquote better, superior than others, oftentimes because they feel that they have this awesome gift about themselves. They're a gift to the world, or however it is that they self-evaluate, but oftentimes see there's a direct disconnect between how they truly feel about themselves. So a lot of people say, well, these are the people with the big egos. Deep inside, they're very insecure, and they live sort of on an outside shell. They live a mask, and they put on a show, a sham, a facade of who they are. It's not genuine of who they are. So that's why you see this pathological lying. You see these double and triple lives. You see them violating the law, taking these risks, and then furthermore, swooping you up, getting you enmeshed in this whirlwind of life, which then becomes drama, which then becomes unhappiness. And you're too caught up in it. You're too caught up in that emotional whirlwind. So realize that the socialization that you have felt with them, you need to kind of come back to yourself, and come back to the aha moment that you have as probably a victim or a target or a scapegoat. You have these mirror neurons. You have the ability to feel empathy. You have the ability to feel grace or divine intervention, or feel the awesome or the divine, or have gratitude, and know that you have, yet your best days ahead of you. It is this getting in touch with this, and furthermore, living back in this and feeling safe and secure to do that. But furthermore, to really begin to look at the thought patterns that result within you as a result of being blacked, or being kind of in a relationship with someone who has betrayed you, defied your trust, etc. And that is, after I am basically calling it the after I syndrome. Basically, the ultimate procrastination, the ultimate delay in your life or your life purpose, or embracing of your life purpose, really what you're meant to live, and accepting of that and embracing it basically is the knowledge that, look at your socialization and how you have now, reconnected with yourself or reconnected with others now as a result of this. Because what I find, a lot of viewer comments come in and they feel this sort of crippling or, agonizing lack of feeling or passion or enthusiasm in their life. They're so grief stricken, or they can't work through the cycles of grief, or, they're still kind of stuck. And that is oftentimes because those blocks are put in place by the psychological self-talk. After I ... I will. After I allow time to heal, I will do this. So there's a lot of self-talk which keeps people stuck. And it's basically, this becomes then an excuse. So really look at and confront, or sort of carefront yourself, sort of be very gentle, compassionate, and look at, a lot of your decision making, again, which is in the prefrontal cortex of your brain, of your mind, of your being, which gives you that, ability to dream and make plans and live your life in a happy sort of, progressive manner. And look at how, you might be telling yourself a story, an anecdote, after the kids do this, then I will ... or after I get a job ... or after this happens, after the holidays, I'll leave this person, or after this and this happens, I'll go no contact, or after this, I will, begin to work on myself. There's a lot of excuse making that people do subconsciously that keeps them stuck, that keeps them feeling down, depressed, and under the control of the stress hormones. So look at reformatting that blueprint and begin to get into the planning part of yourself, and begin to eradicate that self-talk. After I begin to use the word now, I am. Now I am. Now I am enjoying wonderful people. Now I am enjoying wonderful prosperity. Now I am doing what I need to do to progress professionally. Now I am taking action on my dreams. Now I am doing what I want to take care of my health. Now I am enjoying nature. Now I am enjoying prosperity in peace and harmony. Now I am eating healthfully. Now I am enjoying eating healthfully. Now I am. Now I am getting off the couch. And it's very important. Studies have shown that once you make that decision, you need to take action right away. So take action on your goals. If you have wanted to go back, go horseback riding, or, get into craftsmanship, or, get into business, or get into fishing or bird watching. And these are the things that you wanted to do, but, I will do this when, you keep putting it off. Make a decision right now to go and do that. I mean, go and get the website together. Go and get the group together. Go and, to the retailer that has these items which enable you to do what you need to do, and begin taking steps right now. Don't put it off. Why do you keep putting it off? It's because you're still feeling in the back of the mind that you're going to allow this to perpetually keep you stuck. And so the allowing for that now has to, transform or transmute or alchemize to, now I'm allowing the happiness, and I'm taking action even before you feel that you're ready. You need to just go and do it. You need, just like Nike says, just do it. There is something to that phrase. You need to have your Nike moments and just do it. Go and be that person. If you've sick of being a slob, then throw out your slob clothes. If you're sick of being poor, get rid of all the dysfunctional stuff and begin to take a class, begin to learn about ways to, improve your education. If you're struggling with your health, then go, and you're not happy with what the doctor is giving you, see what new medications there are, see what new therapies, see what experimental therapies. Don't just settle for the plateau. Take the decision, take the boldness, take what you might feel is the audacity, and be decisive and take that next step. towards your happiness, your health, your wealth, your wellness, your peace and harmony. If you're, if there's too much noise, then go. If you're so unhappy, there's too much noise, psychological noise, go for a drive in the country. Go for a drive to a little waterway. Just go and sit on the bank and take it in. See what mysteries of nature you can see. Give yourself a challenge, a peace challenge. See where you can go, where you can discover more profound peace for yourself. Maybe it's just a walk in a deep forest preserve, or, you're taking a blanket out and just, or a chair, and you're making yourself a little picnic. Begin to create these experiences for yourself so you can begin to experience new things, because your body will receive those. And remember, the body will tend naturally to hold on more strongly to the hormones of stress than the hormones of reward in these situations. So you really need to override that fear, have the courage, the boldness, and just go to and allow those happy moments. Maybe you've always wanted to go and see sculpture or painting, or go to a puppy farm, or whatever it is that they have, not a petting zoo, but puppies, and you've always wanted to have a puppy or a pet of some sort. Then why don't you take that action? Go to a shelter. Chances are you can find this pet, and it's not a lot of money. It's not going to take you any money. A lot of people say, well, peace and harmony, I don't have a lot of money right now. I would love to do this, I would love to do that. Well, what are some things that you can do for free? I mean, you can go out there and, and take a blanket that you have and go out into a nature reserve and just take it in and see, what sort of miraculous moments in nature that you can find for yourself. Whether you're seeing, a salamander, a toad, a huge river toad, or whatever you call those things, or you might find a beautiful rock, or a beautiful tree, or a beautiful flower, butterfly, bird. I mean, what are some mysteries of nature that you could just stumble upon, and see how many you can count in that 1 hour period, and see if you can't begin to log for yourself some more of these positive, peaceful, harmonious moments, whether it's, going to the woods, harvesting some rocks, or harvesting some wood, or, learning to create, a new garden for yourself, or a new addition to your house. Why aren't you doing these things? I think would be the better question. Rather than, how can I? Ask yourself, why don't I? Why don't I do this? And I think you'll find that those are some more energizing questions to remove the block, the barrier, the procrastination that has been put in place, and allow yourself to socialize from, and really kind of take and utilize those motor neurons, which are motor and mirror neurons, which allow you to kind of absorb, going to a hotel and having some coffee there, going to a fancy restaurant and ordering an hors d'oeuvre. Why don't you do these things? Why don't you basically take action? That is my message for you today. Please take action in 1 or 2 of these areas on your recovery date, and see if it doesn't serve you well. It's Peace and Harmony with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.